Welcome, beautiful you, to this presentation about transformational self-love therapy and soul reading. And I am really, really excited because I haven't taught soul reading for quite a few years now, and it is like my favorite thing. And so when other people show up and are interested in learning and developing their extrasensory abilities, your natural, unique gifts, and we put it in a structure of soul reading, but you might not end up doing soul reading, but that general thing, really activating your superpowers, I love it. It makes me really excited to see people light up, get their wings, like Kaz was just explaining. She's been getting her wings lately, doing the I love you me. So it's really, really exciting for me to share this with all of you. So thank you for being here. I'm going to run through a presentation that I just put together. So stay alert and pay attention. Okay, so as you know, this is about transformational self-love therapy, the best thing in the whole world, and soul reading. First of all, just tune in to why you're actually here. What have you listened to inside of yourself? What is calling you? Why do you need this? Why do you want it? Because you have your own unique, incredible powers, incredible gifts, incredible you-ness to come out of you. And as it so happens, Kaz, there's a lady here with wings. We were just talking about getting wings. And I just so happened to put this picture in of this lady with her wings, because I think all of us, whether you resonate with that picture or not, whether you're female or not, I think all of us really resonate with that feeling of freedom to be who we are, all that we are, and to really fulfill our potential. Do you agree with me? Is that how you feel? Because I think that's huge. I do a lot of soul readings for people, and that's the biggest thing that people ask me about. What's my purpose? What are my gifts? What am I here for? What's my destiny? And so that's one of the really amazing things that I love about my work, is helping people with that. So I'm going to guess that that's why you're here. Of course, there's many things that we want and need in life. There's the money. We want the connection with other people. We want to feel connected to where our health is important, our peace is important, and our relationships, our intimacy with others in those sacred, special, close union relationships. These are all really, really important to us. But it's not actually the highest goal, is to seek for the money or the partner or the better health or any of those things. There's actually a motivation that is actually our highest goal in life. And see if this resonates with you. See if you agree with me that the highest goal, and really expand yourself, really go there, feel into this. The ultimate expression, the ultimate experience, the ultimate feeling, the ultimate state of actualization of your being, like who you are, is that feeling or beingness of real love. You might call it divine love. It might be your desire to be one with God, to be one with the universe, to be one with Source, to go back home to Source, to feel that ultimate love that's a spiritual connection. And I believe it's also human, because we're both spiritual and human. We need the spiritual and we need the practical. We want that human connection, that real love that surpasses anything else, that's unconditional, that's kind of out of this world and super deep, right? I think, well, from what I've experienced reading people for 20-something years, is that is what everybody is looking for. And I don't think you need to be psychic to realize that. So you probably realize that as well. And because I find this really interesting, love is the ultimate thing we're all seeking, but it's also the thing that's our deepest motivation for everything else we do in life. It lies at the bottom underneath that desire for money and that drive for success and that drive for status and that drive to be liked and that drive to be recognized and that drive to be, whatever it is, healthy or whatever it is. Underneath all of that, there is a foundational motivation, the baseline And that is also a deep, deep need to be loved, to feel loved, to experience that real love. So it's like the highest goal that we seek. It's what everyone is looking for. And it's that thing that drives us from underneath. It's like our top and tail. It's our highest and our lowest. It's kind of, everything. And the problem happens, and again, I'm going to say this with my 20-something years of healing and reading people, is that the problem with all of those things, why people don't have the money, why people don't have the health, why people don't have the relationships, why people don't have that sense of recognition, that status, that success, whatever else it is that we want in the middle, is because of the lack of the real love. If you think back to something that, think about something that you're searching for, that you're aspiring for in your life. And when you ask yourself, well, why do I want that? Why am I doing that? Why am I behaving that way? And why am I doing that? And then why am I doing that? Like a little kid, why? But why? But why? It's because underneath all of those things, all of those problems that we have in our life, is because we don't actually feel really loved. That's the problem, is the lack of love. And you'd think in a world full of 8+ billion people, we could find that love that we're looking for. And sadly, people don't. You get degrees of it. Even people that are in healthy relationships, they're still often lacking something, ill with something. There's other problems. And all of those problems, I've discovered, can actually be transformed, resolved, healed when that love is in the right place. Because we're always waiting for that right person, the right place, the right time, the right words, the right touch, the right connection to meet us in those deep places where we have that lack, where we have that issue, where we have that problem. And finding someone else to do that is really hard. Am I right? To be met in those ways, to be met in those deep places in exactly the right way is almost impossible. Despite how many people there are in the world and how many tools we have for connection, it's kind of crazy. And we just have to look around the world to see the extent of the suffering and the lack and the poverty and the illness and the mental health conditions to see something's really lacking. It's that right love. It's that real love. And the obvious solution really is for you to be that real love that you're looking for now. For you to connect to that real love that you are, and for you to begin that. I believe you're already beginning or have begun that embodiment process because you're here. That obviously means something to you because you're attracted to me, I'm attracted to you. We're like magnets because we feel something very similar. So that's the obvious solution, right? If you can't find the love that you're looking for, then it's got to be down to you. You are the love that you're looking for. You are the love that is needed in the world, in your world. And what I find is that missing piece, it's so blaringly obvious that that missing piece for pretty much everything in life is self-love. And yet it's almost a mysterious, etheric kind of thing. And most people haven't got a clue where to start, or they get really funny ideas about what that looks like. But they don't actually really know what love is a lot of the time anymore, because love has been so heavily conditioned. You can just give your hearts a little rub if, take a deep breath, this feeling triggering, okay? Just be with yourself right now. We don't have a lot of models for what real love actually looks like anymore. It's got really messy. And so your path back to that place, to that peace, to that connection is inside of you. And it's the most ultimately liberating, empowering, healing, restorative thing you could ever do for yourself when you know how to do it. And I believe that you do. And I'm going to tell you a quick story of how I got there, super quick. And by the way, I'm still on that journey, and I always will be. But this is a little me up here in the top left corner with my parents, my two brothers, my baby brother and my older brother. I was born into a very hippie family. I'm just this little hippie girl. We had no money. Everything in our life was very spiritual, and there was very little kind of practical resources, information, guidance, support. It was all just hippie spiritual, which was really, really wonderful in so many ways, but really, really lacking in a whole bunch of other ways, right? I basically didn't know how to exist in the world and in society and anything. I was just this little floaty, little hippie girl. And throughout my journey, and some of you know my story and bits of my story, but this picture at the bottom is me a few months ago in Pakistan in November, speaking at a conference full of corporate people, full of government officials and heads and chairs and people of state and governors and all kinds of things. There was 1,000 people in that room, and I'm on a stage talking about love and self-love and peace. And I'm like, how did I get there? How did that happen? I didn't go and study healing. I didn't want to be a healer. I didn't study public speaking. I didn't want to be on stage. It was terrifying. I didn't have any of these ideas about what was going to happen. I was literally just tapped in, tuned in to source, to that love within me, thank goodness, because that was my safe space. And I followed my instinct, my intuition, my guidance, my spiritual guidance. And I had loads of that, not very much human guidance, but a lot of spiritual guidance because I was just super tapped into that stuff. And so that's been a journey. And along the way, I've been in magazines in countries all, several places around the world. I've been in movies. They've made documentaries about me with I Love You Me method. I never expected that to happen. I've worked with some of my absolute heroes in life. This lady on the top left, this is Brandon Bays. She wrote a book called The Journey way back. Yeah, you're nodding, you know. And she has her method, the Journey method, in about 80 countries around the world. This lady is a legend. She's like an angel. I love her. I was like, if I could one day have I Love You Me in that many countries with people that I've trained, wow, that would just be like the most incredible thing ever. And she was my hero. And then I found myself emceeing with her on stage for 2 days, hanging out with her, having my picture taken with her. And she says at the end, she's clapping me on stage. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, what? So the crazy things have happened. Talking to Russell Brand about self-love, giving him some tips, influencing him. He came out with a whole bunch of stuff after I gave him my book about self-love on Instagram for months. I've interviewed Neil Donald Walsh, the legend who wrote Conversations with God. This man is a complete darling, another one of my heroes. I've interviewed him twice now. I have his phone number in my WhatsApp. It's like, how did that happen? And this lady, Marie Diamond, she was another one of those teachers from The Secret, as was Neil. And I spent a weekend with her being on stage, hanging out. This is us backstage before she was about to go on. And it's like, okay, wow, incredible things have happened. Because I believe everyone has been made for some particular work. And the desire for that work has been put in every heart. Let yourself be silently drawn by the stronger pull of what you really love. Rumi said that. Sadly, I don't think I'll ever meet Rumi in physical form because he's not with us. But again, one of my big heroes in life. But that really resonates with me because that's how I came to be teaching self-love all over the world, influencing tens of thousands of people, which is crazy. When I just came from this little poor hippie background with no confidence, I got beaten up in school. I was not popular. I was the weirdo. And then all of these other things happened because I was following that calling and I kept following it and I kept following it. And that's how I've come to be here with you guys today. And that's why I believe you're here too. so that I can talk to you about this tool that has had the most phenomenal impact in my life and has allowed me to make a phenomenal impact in so many other people's lives. It's such a blessing. I'm telling you right now, and I almost can't believe it. I think about it sometimes. I'm like, this is incredible. So I want to tell you about this method, transformational self-love therapy. And another person I've recently been in contact with, again, which is crazy, personal messaging with Mark Allen, the author and publisher of the New World Library. This guy is a legend. Him and Shakti Gawain set up New World Library back in, I think, late 60s, early 70s. Shakti Gawain, another absolute legend. This is a quote from Mark. Love and serve yourself, then love and serve others. It's why you're here. And when I read that, I was like, I resonate with that so much. That's when I was writing my book, I came across that quote and I've put it in my book. And now I'm in contact with Mark Allen's bonkers. And Namada, who is actually on this call today, she said, this is a quote directly from her. She said, you cannot find this information anywhere else, with what I'm about to share with you. There's nothing like it, and I've looked. And this is one of my wonderful graduates, Namada, that said this, and I happen to agree with her. So, hold on, I just need to move that over. I can't actually see my own slide because I've got you guys. So never mind, you can tell me what this is. You can read it. So, this course usually, or for the last few years, I've just been teaching transformational self-love therapy, level 1. And in case you're wondering, this is the I Love You Me method, which is the self-help version of the method, of which there's the book and the course and other things out there, the meditations. This is the next step up. This is the professional level of how you do I Love You Me with somebody else and facilitate them. You're going to see what it does. It facilitate them through that method. And whilst you're facilitating this method, and the graduates on this call will attest to this, whilst you are loving and serving other people, helping them to love and serve themselves and help themselves and heal their lives, it simultaneously has an impact on you. You start healing, you start loving yourself more. And it's amazing. It's kind of like a win-win situation where everyone's feeling more love and more connected and more self-love. And so this first level of transformational self-love therapy is what I usually teach all by itself, or have done for the last lot of years. And today I'm going to show you 3 different modules that you can do one of or all of. So you can choose. I want you to do all of them because that's the best choice, but you choose what's right for you. But this is the first module, is simply just learning transformational self-love therapy level 1, which means that you can work one-to-one with clients anywhere in the world, online or in person. And I always recommend my graduates start at £100 an hour. And the reason you might think, well, that's a bit expensive. Personally, I don't think it's expensive, because how much money would you spend, or do people spend, going to a therapist for a year, 2 years, 3 years? They spend a lot of money. And with this, you won't have clients coming to you for a year or 2 years. They might come back and get another dose. But massive transformation happens with this very quickly. And it's astonishing and it's amazing. So that's why your baseline is £100 an hour. So think about what you're earning right now, and think about if £100 an hour to begin with sounds good, because it's very, very achievable. So there's a missing piece, I believe, in the whole therapeutic healing world. And so this is why I'm going to give you 5 reasons why transformational self-love therapy is completely unique, and why I believe that if you're a sensitive person, a healer, a therapist, a helper of some kind, and you want to go out and make a difference in the world, that this is why you need to have this as part of your toolkit. The first one is because, like I just said, it's faster and more effective than anything else, simply because it gets to the single root cause, like I said, of that lack of love. Mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual pain. I have got proof of this, so I can back it all up. It goes deep into trauma and transforms it, illness, all kinds of suffering. So transformational self-love therapy, or TSLT, gives you the powerful breakthrough results that you long for. You want to have that impact. You want to see the fast change. And it does it without re-traumatizing the client, which is amazing. And it's faster and more effective than ever. The second reason is because you get an authentic connection that's like no other. You get an almost instant authentic connection with yourself when you do this method. And then you can create an almost immediate trust bond and a deep, authentic connection with your clients. Again, I have testimonies to this. And then whilst you're kind of creating that deep connection with your client, which is, of course, the first step. If you don't get connection with a client, you've lost them. You can't help them. You can't reach them. They're not going to trust you. They're not going to let you in. So getting that connection right off the bat is crucial. It's super important. And without that, you've got nothing. But whilst you're getting this amazing, deep, authentic connection with your clients, you're simultaneously guiding them to have that connection with themselves, which is beautiful to watch. It is incredible. And at the same time, they're having that deep, authentic, homecoming feeling with themselves. You're having it with yourself, and then you're having it between the two of you. So it's like this threefold connection thing. It's amazing. The third reason is because it's mutually empowering. You are genuinely empowering your clients with real self-help tools that mutually liberate you both from the client codependency issues. Now, those of you that are already healers and therapists, you know that clients can become very codependent on you. And you're trying to give them tools and give them homeworks and give them advice to help themselves and to give them tools. And one of my graduates, she's a clinical psychologist, she actually really loves this part because she said the tools that she's been given as a clinical psychologist, and she works with the people that have come to the end of the line where nobody else will see them, they're kind of beyond help, and she takes those clients. And she said she kind of feels like when she gives them those self-help tools, that it's kind of patronizing. It's almost like they're being treated like little children, and she doesn't feel like it's empowering at all. Those were the traditional tools that she's been given. So when she's able to give her clients this tool of self-love, the way that you guide the session, the way that you're able to, it's a bit like teaching, but kind of not. But it basically means that your clients go away with these tools that they can use on themselves in their own way. And it is actually really empowering, and it doesn't feel patronizing or condescending. So she really loves that, and I love that too. And it doesn't compromise your time, your energy, or integrity to help others. It's not like, oh God, this person again. Sorry, I'm sure you don't really think like that. Maybe you do. You don't come away from a session tired. You don't lose your sense of integrity. You're not it's feeding someone. You're not supplying them. You're helping them meet their own supply inside of themselves. So that's a really unique point. The fourth one is about that feeling drained. You learn the secret to recovering, restoring, and protecting your own energy so that you never lose your sense of self or your precious energy by overgiving or overcompensating ever again. So with TSLT, you're protected from emotional overwhelm and burnout if you use the method. You'll feel energized and incredible after facilitating clients without taking on negative energies or emotional baggage. And another one of my graduates, Shuji, she was like, I feel like I cry at the end of the session because my clients are just saying such nice things about the session and me. She's like, I almost can't take it. And they feel really good. She feels really good. So the fifth one is accessing your higher calling. This method, it just has this action. It's amazing because it just helps you be so in touch with you that you start breaking out of your shell. Things around you start changing because you've changed inside. And you know what this feels like, some of you on here who've done this, you know that feeling. Your world starts shifting quite quickly. You break out of the shell, you break through that glass ceiling. And now is your time to bloom with full inner confidence, accessing your higher potential, activating your hidden gifts and sensitivities, expanding your intuitive and extrasensory abilities, and fulfill your soul purpose. Because when you do this method, you're honing your senses. You're engaging with empathy. You're really being present. You're seeing, hearing, being with people in such presence that you naturally start expanding your own self-awareness. You naturally start expanding your consciousness of life generally and kind of raising that conscious vibration, so to speak. But you also naturally start unlocking your extrasensory natural abilities that you were born with, which is really fun, really exciting. So you really are unlocking your next level of self-actualization, being fully you. It's really, really wonderful. So who is this for? This is, of course, for people who are qualified therapists, counselors, coaches of some kind. I've trained lots of people like that. Also, if you're in the care or social work business, or you're a medical professional of some kind, or if you're a compassionate healer, lots of healers out there, that might be that you already have a modality that you're doing, or it might be that you just know that you have a natural inclination towards healing. People come to you. Maybe you feel like you've got healing hands. You're just that compassionate, loving, empathic kind of person. You're a natural healer. So you're either working in that wellness sector already, or you're just a general, what I call spiritual helper. So as long as you're over 18, you can apply. You do have to go through an application process, which is just a form and then a call with me, and it's really chilled. It's really fun. You obviously need to speak English because I teach in English. However, there are many people that have done this training whose first language, I think I counted the other day, transformational self-love therapy is in 16 countries right now. Lots of those don't speak English, but the people who trained with me do speak English. And we're like, okay, when can we start actually teaching this in other languages? And, you know, one of those people is actually on this call who's going to, you know, ideally start translating and putting it into other languages. So that might be something that you end up doing if English is not your first language. You need some very basic computer skills, which I think you have because you've been able to join this Zoom meeting. So it's pretty much, it stays that simple. Access a Google worksheet and go onto WhatsApp, etc. You need to be open and coachable. That is the most important thing because you need to be ready to learn new things. You can't bring old stuff into this with you. You just need to come open-minded, open-hearted, and prepared to have a really amazing time. You also need to be that person who is able to be guided to reflect or is willing to look at your own stuff, your own triggers, and be self-responsible for stuff that comes up. Because this is a professional training, I'm not going to be spending time during the training experience connecting with people individually to help them with their healing. That can happen outside of the training, but not inside. And so you need to be, okay, if I'm feeling triggered with something, okay, I'm going to use a method. I'm going to untrigger myself. I'm going to release myself from this trigger. And I'm going to really now start embodying my more authentic truth myself. And as long as you're willing to do that, and of course, everybody needs help with that, right? It's not always easy, but as long as you're willing, then you're good to go. Then this is really right for you. And of course, being committed to the whole program. Because I think it's a little bit like when you climb a mountain, you go, I'm going to get to the top. And then come down afterwards, the view is going to be amazing. It's just going to be so incredible. And then actually when you're going up that last part of the mountain, before you start sliding back down again, it's the toughest bit. It can be like, whoa, this is intense. Whoa. But you just stay steady, you stay present. And then before you know it, you're going back down the other side and we're cruising on the last part of the course. So I always find that little chunk in the middle, people are like, whoa, my mind's blown. And it's like, it's okay, stay with it. We've got you. It's fine. So I want you to be committed to the whole program and see it through as much as anything for yourself. These are some of the things, just quickly, I'm not going to read them all out, that we have case studies for, that this method has helped. As you can see, there's quite a lot there. This is by no means extensive. This is just from some of the testimonials, some of the case studies that we've had come back. Everything from suicidal tendencies, this young woman wanting to take herself out, to terminal cancer with somebody had 3 weeks left to live, to, and actually one of my trainees, she worked with me a couple of years ago in 2022, she'd been working in the social care and psychotherapy for 25 years. When she did this training, she told me at the end that she'd come to this training with PTSD that she'd had for many years. And by the time she finished the training, she didn't have PTSD anymore. I was like, wow, that's epic. So who knows what's possible for you? This is what you get in this training. You will be qualified in 12 weeks. It goes really fast to work one-to-one with clients using this method. So it's just 3 months, guys. You're qualified to start seeing clients. You get 3 video modules every week. That amounts to about an hour and a half of watching a video whilst you complete your worksheet. You've got a manual and a full how-to guidebook. It's very comprehensive. As well as your video modules, you then hop on to a 2-hour mentoring meeting. This mentoring meeting used to be an hour and a half, but we found that it just wasn't long enough for everyone to share, and we liked it so much, I made it longer. So we have 2 hours every week for 12 weeks in which you get mentored. I'm going to be there teaching you personally. We're going to have a trainee mentor on board, and yeah, you get to practice during those sessions. You have peer-to-peer practice inside the mentoring calls and coaching, and outside as well. People get together and kind of form their own little groups and practice on one another, which is really, really wonderful. And it creates really strong bonds with everybody in the group. You do have to do case studies if you want to graduate, obviously. You start doing that on week 2, all the way through to the end. And you learn, you practice with case studies in stages. So you just do one little chunk and then another little chunk the next week and then another little chunk, and you build on it so that you can do it. It's self-assessed, and it's kind of like this checklist style assessment, so you can go through and grade yourself and see your own progress. And then, of course, I will be supporting you with that as well and giving you some guidance and some pointers of how you can do things in a more effective way. And you, of course, get your graduation certificate as well. So that's the course. The cost of this course is $1,995. It actually used to be £4,000 because I taught it live in person. Now it's online. It's $1,995. And you also get a whole ton of bonuses. You, of course, get the I Love You Me self-help version of the course. I'm going to give you the book as well, the actual physical real book. I'll send that to you. So you've got the whole kind of self-help package. So I don't know if there's anybody on this call that actually hasn't already done that. And if you have, good to go. I can send you another book. You can review the material if you want. This is your like pre-training stuff. You need to have at least read the book in order for you to come on and do this professional training. So that's why I'm sending it to you, and you'll get the PDF as well, so you don't have to wait to get it. You can just start. Before we start, I'm going to throw in, so you've got the 12 weeks mentoring, but I'm also going to take you on a complimentary orientation session, which shows you around, shows you how to access your self-assessment sheets, shows you how to access the online platform. It's very simple, but we just make sure that everybody's good to go. And we meet the mentor, we get to meet each other. It's kind of like that warm up before you start the training. And we set the intentions there as well. I also have a WhatsApp chat group so that you have me for a week, and everybody else in the space, a week before we get started and a week afterwards. So for 14 weeks, you have a WhatsApp chat group 24/7. I mean, obviously I sleep, so not quite. But, you know, people tend to be in different parts of the world. So quite often there is actually somebody who's awake if you wanted to, you know, ask a question, get some support, reach out, chat to somebody. And that's really wonderful. That's not for everyone. You don't have to have it. It's just a bonus that I put in that means basically, you're on my phone with me. You've got me for the whole time. You also get lifetime access. So you never have to retrain. You just go back to the material and you will learn more and more and more every time you rewatch it. That's also been proven. And of course, you have ongoing community support. You become part of a tribe, part of a family. We have our Facebook group, and that's where you will stay connected with everybody there. So you're always going to have that community, which is so, so important. And for the 6th bonus, you get 50% off on any sessions you want to book with me. And because when I do a soul reading and healing session, it lasts for 2.5 hours. I do really big sessions. I charge £1,000 for that. So you can get that for half price, which I think is really, really good. I always want to support my students. So you can make use of that or not. So that's nearly 5 grand's worth of bonuses there, guys, I'm giving you. I want to show you this video real quick. I don't have to show you the whole thing. These are people that have been doing the training.
I saw results from the very first day. The very first breathe and receive meditation just went deep enough, kind of connected the spirit and the body, and they started to meet themselves.
I'm getting breakthroughs in clients that I've had for a year and they haven't budged. And then I try this method and they are able to connect with themselves in a manner that I'm a little bit shocked.
The way that the process naturally flows is unique. I don't know that there's anything quite like it. I mean, they're just connecting to themselves more.
The connection in the session is completely different. It just feels like somebody turns the light on in the session.
It's beautiful just watching them light up, like with this new light inside, once they like find that part of themselves and bring it home.
Even people that disconnect or dissociate, they're able to stay connected and feel things that these other more traditional modalities just don't allow for.
She acknowledged herself and she just burst into tears like, I haven't met myself. I haven't been there for so long. I'd so forgotten.
What I see is people releasing wounds and trauma much faster than in any talking therapy I did before.
Before, I was just like treating symptoms when I heal people and help them. But now with this training, I'm actually like getting to the core.
Like how much more she relaxed in that first half an hour than I've experienced people relaxing in like a full body session. She was mind blown, and so was I.
Clients are more able to go very deep down. I had a client who was in lots of tears, and he was able for the very first time in his life to have a sense of himself.
The conversation back to self, activating that intelligence.
And how the people are after like a single session, and they're like, this is so simple, but it has such a profound effect on them.
I'm like, week 3, and I'm like, wow, more results than I've had in a long time.
There you go. I'm not going to show you the whole video, but you get the idea. Hope you enjoyed that. So let's have a look. Professionally qualified in transformational self-love therapy, 12 weeks to learn how to do one-to-one sessions, starting at £100 an hour. Yes, it's amazing at 1995, like you wouldn't believe. But I have an early bird. I want to make it really easy for you to say yes if you're feeling this and not have things like money stuff getting in the way. So I'm going to put it down to, I have put it down to 1495, and which means that you're saving £500, and I've broken it down into installments. If 1495, you can't make that right now. Of course you can. Go ahead and make it in one go. That is brilliant. If you can't, you want it chunked down, you can get started today for only 375. That means you're sorted. So hopefully that's something that you're celebrating about right now, because that's really brilliant. And that's over 4 months. So the second part, that was part 1. Part 2 is level 2. This is where, after you've learned how to do a one-to-one and you've practiced it for 3 months, of course, with coaching and support and everything, and I can help you, you know, find clients and get started and help you set up if you're not used to doing this or whatever. Then also you learn how to do it with groups. This is liberating and phenomenal, because basically it means you can transform more lives faster, and it's easier. And it's really, really fun, actually. You can do it online or live in person. It's highly flexible, adaptable. I can't speak. Highly flexible, adaptable, and customizable. So let's say, Juji, you could see there, she works with people with alcohol and drug addiction. She brought this into using it with her groups. And actually, she changed her work, but she used to work in a rehab center, and she was bringing this into work with people in live group sessions there. You can use it. It basically, it can adapt to any different kind of issue or condition that you want to meet in people. So it might be relationships that you want to help people with. It might be their self-esteem. It might be chronic back illness. It could be anything. Literally could be anything. It's totally up to you, because it can adapt to any of those things. So it can be used for any issue or limitation or situation, depending on what your passion is and the kind of people that you really want to help. It's age appropriate. You can use this with children. My kids, I did this with them when they were growing up, and it's been used. One of my trainees years ago, he worked in a hospice. He didn't actually do group facilitation in the hospice, by the way, but he did use this method in the hospice with the people. But basically, it's age flexible as well. It is perfect if you want to host retreats, or if you're already hosting retreats, or you work on retreats. This is absolutely brilliant for doing retreats, workshops of any kind. You can do small groups or large groups. It's entirely up to you. You can do local meetings, groups, circles for your community, for your people, however, which way you like to do it. That's how I got started, actually, back in 2008, was those small groups. You can charge what you want for as long as you want. So if you run a group, for example, you can charge whatever you feel that that's worth to you. It's like you can target really high paying customers. You can target people who are unemployed. You can get paid to go and run groups for unemployed people, or in hospitals, or wherever it is that you want to do it. It's really adaptable to whatever you want to do. And so what you get with this, so don't be overwhelmed by this, because once you've done the level 1 and then you start using it, you're going to start being hungry, like, okay, what else can this do? Right? So it kind of comes in at the right time. You get a few more video lessons. These ones are much shorter. There's only 13 of them. You can watch them in your own time. It's self-study. I won't be checking up on you. You just do it in your own way. You can watch them all in one go, all in one day if you want. Of course, there's the manual as well. And with this, you don't just get the 12 weeks mentoring that you get with the level 1. With this, you get ongoing mentoring for a whole year, so that you get like the full support to help you set up, run your groups, do your thing, and get help, obviously, from the benefit of my experience working with this, to support you as much as possible. And what's also brilliant is that people that have done this in the past linked up together and ran groups together. They did live events together, and it was absolutely, absolutely wonderful. They didn't have to go and do it on their own. It means that I'm going to be there as well, supervising you with your clients. So as you're going through your one-to-one facilitation journey with your clients, you've got that you've got that supervision from me the whole time, which is obviously hugely beneficial. If you get stuck with anything, you want guidance, you need support personally, it's all going to be there for you. And of course, you get this opportunity as well. Not only do I run events online, but also live, which I really, really love. And I'm talking to people at the moment about getting that going again. And what usually happens is that people that have trained with me, they come to my events, and they get involved. They get on a stage. I teach them how to speak to everybody, teach them some speaking techniques, get them sharing their story. and helping at those events, giving you that experience, which is really brilliant. And also, I'm very willing to come to yours and support you at your events, should you want or need me to be there. And of course, you get your certificate for that as well. And you get a bonus gift. I give you a 7-part, it's like a chakra cleansing journey for abundance. So a lot of stuff that we sensitive healer giver types have is an issue with abundance. Not everybody, but it's really common. So I put together this 7-part healing journey, and each part is a 2-hour-long healing experience for you. You just listen to in your own time. You go through it, it's guided. You release and cleanse each one of your chakra centers, your energy centers, for greater abundance in your life. And I'm just going to give that to you absolutely free. That is also worth a couple of thousand. And you get free entry to all of my events. You just come along, enjoy, be part of it forever. It's really fun. So you got a whole bunch of bonuses there, 2 grand's worth of bonuses. So just to wrap this up, you have this option 2 where you learn Transformational Self-Love Therapy 1 and 2 together as a package. It means you're professionally qualified to work one-to-one and in groups with that year mentoring. This is amazing value at $3,995. Amazing value, because this skill is, it gives you 2 different kind of streams of professional skills, professional income. You can take whichever way you want anywhere in the world. It's like, you know, you couldn't buy a business for that much. And then, because I really love you guys and I really love doing this, and I know that you're going to really love doing it, and I want you to say yes to it, basically, I'm going to be blatant about it. I've actually reduced it by a whole £1,000, so that you're not having that, oh God, I want to do that part too. I can see myself on stage. I want to be a part of that. I would love to do that. Even if it's scary, I still want to do it. I want to make it easier for you. I don't like having money blocks as the issue, the reason why people don't say yes to something which is like their purpose. So you can also get started on that. If you want this 1 and 2 together, I've broken it down. You can get started for $499 today, if that's what you want to do, which would be epic to have you. Very, very fun indeed. And we get to know each other very well. We have a lot of fun. And that's over 6 months, by the way. So could this be you? This was the last live event I did. Actually, no, it wasn't. Getting things. This was the biggest one we had in London. We had 225 people there. We kind of, yeah, it was a bit, we were a bit stretched, I have to say. I wasn't ready for that kind of size. But this could be you one day. I had no idea that was going to be me. Trust me. I was the kid in school that wasn't chosen for the role on the Christmas play or the Easter play or whatever play it was. I was not chosen. I was scared on stage. And then I end up on stage talking to hundreds of people. It's crazy. But this could be you. Is that you? Can you see yourself doing that? So this 3rd part, the soul reading part, what you've all been waiting for, this extrasensory development for professional use. This is not just a course where I kind of teach you a few things and maybe wave a crystal in front of your 3rd eye and say that you've been activated. I've been to workshops like that. Right? That's not it. That's not it. There's much more to it than that. So this isn't just so that you can get activated for your own enjoyment, which of course, I mean, how could it not benefit you to be using your natural abilities powerfully? How could that not benefit your life in so many ways? You'll be more tuned in, more trusting yourself. It strengthens your self-belief. You're just being fully you, really, which is epic. But it's more than that, because you actually get a professional training of how to conduct a soul reading session, should you want to do it like that, or you can just take the structure and run with it in your own way, so that you can actually do what I do if you want to, but your version of. So it's very fulfilling. It is a tried and tested method. I've taught this I started teaching this in 2008. I've taught lots of people how to do this. I've taught it in different countries, Australia, Portugal, Dubai, can't think of anywhere else right now. Yep, those countries. It works. It works. Everyone can do it. So you can add this to a business that you already have, to clients you already have, to work that you already do. You could use that intuition, you could use that insight, or you can just start a whole new thing, just being you. You learn advanced energy work practices for healing as well, energy healing, channeling, all kinds of stuff. You learn about how to protect your energy so that you, again, are not getting, you know, a lot of people worry about this. If they open up, then they're too open, they get attacked, and they worry about psychic attack and channeling all these unwanted things. That is not what happens with this training. I make sure that you are fully protected, you are fully in yourself. That's why we do TSLT first. Because you need that stuff. You need that anchoring, you need that baseline, you need that safety, safe harbor, so that you don't, you know, open yourself up to things and then are vulnerable to things and it's out of your control and you don't know what you're doing and things are coming in and it's like, whoa, you don't need that. I see a lot of people getting very, very sick with that indeed. A lot of psychics get really sick because they don't use this energy protection. They don't have the self-love key with it. So you're going to learn that so that you are just empowered. You're not vulnerable. And again, of course, you can do this online or offline. I didn't know for years that I could do this online. I only thought I could do it with people in person using my hands. And then one day I just decided to see if I could do readings over Skype. And I was offering free half-an-hour readings to people just to see if I could do it. And I could do it so well that I got absolutely inundated, particularly from clients in Dubai. And I'd never had any inclination about Dubai whatsoever. All of a sudden, I've got like 50 people having readings from Dubai asking me because they all told each other. They're all recommending. And then they're like, well, when are you coming? What do you mean? Like, when are you coming to Dubai? That was in 2012. So just out of the blue, I like had to ditch my moccasin boots and my feathers in my hair because I was still rocking the hippie look. I still, you know, can't take the hippie out of me fully. And I had to go and wear makeup and stuff and go and work in Dubai, which I did for many, many, many years. And it was incredible. So yeah, you can do it online, basically. If you think you can't, you can. And you develop your own style. So what do you get? What's in it? You get, basically, we do this training called Return to Inner Sense. I used to do this live in person, of course, with people in different parts of the world and money and traveling, you know, stress. We're just going to do that online. I will do that with you. It's probably going to be 5 intense days. I might break it down over weekends, depending. I will work with people basically to see what's going to work best for them. Because I don't want to say one thing and then people are like, well, I can't do it like that. Oh, it means I can't do it. No, we will work something out so that it's good for everyone. But that is really brilliant. That's where you get your senses unlocked, activated. You start practicing on other people as well. And we can practice online. You can practice live in person with people around you. Yeah, you get unlocked. It's very cool. You get self-study exercises. I give you homework. You're going to go away and practice those things. And of course, because with this course, when you do the soul reading, you don't just get the mentoring for the transformational self-love therapy, because that's one thing in itself. You're going to get a whole another kind of mentoring for a whole year. So that's 2 different kinds of mentoring for a year. It'll be spaced out, it'll probably be every 2 weeks. You'll have a mentoring call with me for a couple of hours. And this is because as you start developing and expanding your abilities, one, you're going to want to feed back to the group and say, guess what happened to me? Is that normal? and 2, you're going to need that guidance, that support to help keep you safe, to help you practicing in a good way that's working for you and that's working for others. So you start seeing, basically, you can start using these abilities with other people as soon as you like. You can start doing readings with people straight away. I highly recommend it. Just in and do it. When you do this training, we also have a 7-day real life in-person retreat. And this time, we've done it in Bali before, or we've done it in other places, Australia and stuff. This year, I want to go to Spain. There's a very special, magical, very spiritual, beautiful place in Spain that I want us to go to. And it also makes it easier for some of the people here to travel, not everybody. But yeah, we're going to do that. And that's including your accommodation. So that's covered, which is, I'm telling you now, that's a real extra bonus that I haven't put in as the bonuses. And also, I will give you a personal, that £1,000 session I talked about, that 2.5 hour long session, sometimes 3, depending on how much stamina you have, how much self-awareness you can be present with. I will do that one-to-one healing session with you as well. And you also get, like I said, that year of mentoring, you get another type of community for this one. This is a specialist kind of thing. So we get a kind of a select, a much smaller community with this one that you can stay connected to. You get that peer-to-peer mastermind and support. You get supervision with your clients, and you get your graduation certificate for that as well. I'm going to give you a sneak peek, a little idea of what this looks like.
and the land is gold, and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. Ready? And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
And just in case you don't know, the story of Abby Flynn, how she healed terminal cancer. She came to me 3 weeks left to live. The doctors had told her that's all she had. She did a workshop with the I Love You Me method, one of my events. She did this training. Her cancer went in a few months. Totally transformed. That was her on top of that volcano, thousands of feet up. She had a 21 centimeter tumor in her chest, and then she climbed up a volcano free of cancer. It was incredible. And there she is singing on the top. That was Abby. So, not going to go to Bali unless everyone begs me, and I'll say, all right then. But I want us to go to Spain. It's absolutely beautiful. The Bay of Rose and Puris. We'll stay some snorkeling. It's golden sand. We're going to go and visit some places, some it will be at. Well, in this package, you basically obviously get the TSLT level 1 and 2. You get those £6,000 worth of bonuses just on those two things. You get the soul reading training with me, with that full year of coaching and business training as well, which is really important. I am not the world's best businesswoman. However, I do know what I'm doing when it comes to this kind of thing. Plus, I have got a plan, because what I see sometimes is people kind of struggling to get their own clients or to, get people to their events and stuff like that. So I've got a plan which comes in the next month or two, less than 2 months. In the next month, I'll be launching that, so that there is generally a huge amount of support, a lot more people coming through learning this method that will want the support from trained facilitators. And your leadership will be needed as well. I'm pulling the team together so that if somebody wants to go out and do this on their own, then great. There are those people, those professional therapists, they've already got their clients. They don't need anything else. But for some people, the community is everything. Doing it together, not being alone, running events together, whatever it is that you want to do. And also having that leadership role in a community to kind of break you in, get used to doing videos, getting used to doing things. I want to support you with all of that, so you're not just like floundering around on your own trying to figure it out. It's hard. I've spent years trying to figure it out, and I figured it out. So I want to help you do the same thing, and that we're all doing it together, because it's just better that way. It's way more fun. So I'm going to give you that retreat and the accommodation. And remember, this is also including that 5-day return to innocence thing as well, and all of that mentoring in between. And you get the one-to-one soul reading with me. That's worth £1,000. So this is incredible value already at the whole package for 9997. I've sold it for this for years. It's super good value. And because I'm in the mood for early discounts, because it's Easter, and because we're in the middle of an eclipse, and because the world needs more love more than ever before ever, and because we've got financial recessions going on and all kinds of things, and I don't want you to struggle. I want you to be able to say yes to this. I can only take full capacity 10 people on this soul reading training to go the whole hog with me. It's going to last 18 months. From the beginning, when you start TSLT 1, all the way through. 18 months of peer support, my support, fully with you, which is amazing. That's more than I've ever offered before. Before this, it was a year. So I'm extending it. I'm giving more, I'm supporting more, I'm creating more support generally for the whole team. And I've lowered the price. But this is your early bird. And this is the early bird when you say yes to this. And I'm not one of those people that's like, you must press the button now and sign up now. End of this presentation. That's not me. I do want to reward people that are committed. I do want to reward people that, just are decisive, that are not going to mess about. And there's a saying that I learned from a very wise teacher of mine: spirit likes speed. The universe backs up our decisions, whatever we're deciding. If we're going in and out and in and out, it's like, well, the universe is like, well, what do you want? Do you want in or do you want? And so when you have that yes, when your heart is just saying, yes, I want to do this. This is me. This is where I get to be myself. This is where I get to give my gift. This is where I get to fulfill my purpose. When you feel that yes, and you just say yes, the universe conspires to help you and support you. I don't need to tell you that. You know that. Things just happen that you weren't expecting that make everything possible. And your new life starts. And it's wonderful. So that's why I've put it down to 5,995 for the whole lot. That's amazing. I've never, ever done it that price before, that cheap. Not that it's cheap. So that saves you $4,000. If you're a yes and you want to jump in this, if you want to think about it and take time, that's fine. I will charge you the full amount, and it's still amazing value. It's still worth it. Not up to me what you choose to do there. If you want to go for it, I fully recommend it though. And you save 4,000. And because I know that money's a thing, it is for everybody. I get it. You can get started for just £500 if that's your yes. Just £500 gets you started with that. So where do you see yourself in 18 months, my beautiful friends? You might be a self-love coach and healer. You might be a group facilitator. You could be running retreats. You could end up being a speaker. You're an influencer or a blogger about self-love, about your intuitive gifts and skills, the things that you've learned personally, your journey. You can be sharing that with other people, influencing other people, spreading the love, which would be epic. I so want you to do that. You could be a soul reader like me, or you could call it something else, whatever you like. Your own version of intuitive reader healer. You can do it with what you're already doing. You can start a new thing. You can be working with me at events. I always need the team. Some of the people here have done an event with me. It was brilliant, wasn't it, guys? Absolutely epic. That's my favorite thing, live events. But also, what I haven't told you is one of the people that trained with me years ago, she was in the Bali video. She did this training and she was working on oil rigs with men in hard hats, climbing up and down on ropes. I don't know, I never remember her job title, but that's what she was doing when she came to this course. Then she started, she's spoken at my events plenty of times. She's run her own events plenty of times. She has loads of clients, and she also developed her own method. She developed light language out of doing this course, and she created her own training in light language. I'll show you in a minute. She's going to be part of this journey if you're doing the soul reading. She's coming on board. She lives in Spain. I've been to that beach that I showed you with her. We've checked it out. She's going to be joining me as a teacher on this training. So I'm not making up stories when I say that if you see yourself doing this kind of work, or you even, like me and want to hang out with me and want to do events with me or whatever, that is actually a possibility that can and will happen. And I can help you with yours, and you can come to mine, and it's all part of the family. Like I just told you, I've got this new plan, so it really helps you get more clients if you're worrying about that. Does it mean that I'm going to do all the work for you? No, because we don't create codependency here. This is about empowering you. I will empower you and help you be empowered, but I'm not going to do it for you. It's up to you if you take it or not. You can as much or as little effort and get the results. To match that, it's up to you. And you also might end up writing a book like Yasmin did. I trained Yasmin Atala to a mentor level so that she was actually mentoring her own TSLT level 1 course. She trained, did she train any of you? No, she didn't. She had her own training group. She was mentoring people. I trained her to that level. She went ahead and wrote her own self-love book. So maybe you see yourself as a writer. Maybe you haven't seen yourself like that. Maybe you just want to. Maybe you've just got an inkling that there's a book inside of you. Well, what if you did? Because Yasmin actually went ahead and did that. And this is Mary Catherine up here. This is her beginner's light language course. And there's a person on this call right now who's done this course. And then she's done the advanced one as well. And this is Mary, who'll be teaching, facilitating, helping. She'll be teaching you some light language on course and some other amazing, brilliant things that she's good at. She's my go-to psychic now. It's brilliant. I trained her to do what I do so she can give back to me what I give to others. I absolutely love it. But what will you create? But you just don't know. So quick roundup. Basically, there's the TSLT level 1 for 12 weeks with all of those bonuses. Did I do this right? No, I didn't. I did it backwards. TSLT level 1. You can get it if you want to say yes to this in the next 24 hours and apply. You just have to fill in the application form in the next 24 hours and book a call with me. For you to have that massive discount of £500, working with me at my events, because once you're trained for events, you can work with me at events. And you also get that extra mentoring, and that is reduced by £1,000 if you want to grab that one, and you can start today for $499. Or the super exciting all-in package where you're doing the soul reading as well with that extra business training and coaching for that extra year. You come on retreat with me, you get the accommodation, you get the one-to-one soul reading included that's already worth £1,000, and you get it at the crazy price of $5,995. And you can get started on that for only £500, which is amazing, and save yourself $4,000. What is next? What's next for you guys? If you want to do this, so you just want to, you're feeling it, you just complete an application form and then you book a one-to-one call with me. So there's the link. If you want to fill in that application form and book a call with me and discuss it with me, talk to me about it, fill in that application form. Click on that link now so it can open in another window. If you're watching this as a recording, then you will find a button or a link somewhere, probably underneath this video, where you can click. And from when I put that out, that 24-hour window still applies, okay? From the moment that I put this video out for you. So if you want to, come and join me for this epic adventure. And I just want to say, guys, something happened to me the other day. And I was thinking, okay, I've watched my journey. I go all out and then I rest a bit and stop a bit, and then go all out and rest a bit and stop a bit. And I've kind of gone like this over the years. And I was asking myself, okay, why is that? What's going on? I've been in hiding a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I'm totally open about this. And you've seen it as well. I've been hiding a little bit. I've been going through a lot of inner growth, a lot of inner transformation. I've met some crises that came up in my life, and I've moved through them with so much grace and ease, thanks to transformational self-love therapy, or thanks to the I Love You Me method. It's saved my life over and over again. I can't tell you, it's amazing. And so whilst I've been going through that transformation, that healing, it's like that next level of rebirth in myself. What's birthing out the other side of that is, of course, me wanting to take this to a whole another level. The level that I've dreamed of But actually, if I'm completely honest, I was too scared to. And I was asking myself, am I scared of failure? Like, no, failure's easy. Is it really easy to fail? That's the opt-out version. Just to not do it. So much easier. I'll get another job or do something else. Doesn't matter. Such an easy option to do that, to not follow my calling, to not fulfill my purpose, to not meet my edge and then go there and meet myself in that scared place and then do that transformational work. It's so much easier not to do that. Failing is easy. I was scared of success. And that took me as a surprise because I didn't realize. Terrified. You know, that picture you saw of me on stage with 1,000 people, that was my biggest audience. I was also completely out of my comfort zone. Corporates and government people is not my safe zone. You know, my safe zone is healers like you, lovely people like you that I can relate to, right? I was so out of my comfort zone. I was terrified. And I did I Love You Me before I actually went. And I stood up there and I delivered a really epic speech, which has now opened doors for me to go and work with people in corporate and other things that are happening out of that. Because I faced my fear, because I love you me to myself, because I'm like, I don't want to be afraid of my success. I don't be afraid of anything. I want to be fully me. I want to do what I came here to do. I want to be the Tara I was born to be. And that is to make an impact in a lot of people's lives. And I've already done that. So I could give up and say, I did it. But for some reason, there's more. And something pulls me, something pushes me and says, actually, you can't give up. You have to go and do this because people need this in the world. People need to know where the truth is, where the love is, where the power is, where the real power is. And it's inside themselves. It's not in anybody else. It's not in me. I'm not a guru. I'm not going to do it for you. It's inside you. And it's inside every single one of us. And it's a big wake-up call. And it's magical. And it's amazing. And there is nothing else on earth, I believe, that is going to make us evolve and have that consciousness shift that's needed. And in fact, tomorrow I've got a meeting with a guy up in London. He works in the sustainability area. And I've been working in this area now, having meetings, discussing, talking to people about global sustainability and earth sustainability and all of these SDGs and all the others, you know, corporate talk that they talk about. And I talked to this man and I said, you know what? I think before people can actually start taking responsibility for the whole planet and their impact on a global basis, I think people need to start taking responsibility just for themselves to start with. Wouldn't that be a good place to start? But people don't know how to. People are scared. They don't have the right tools. They just simply aren't out there. There's a whole bunch of other stuff to get into, but it just doesn't get you there. And so, because it is about real, deep, genuine transformational self-love. And so I'm having this meeting with this guy tomorrow. He loved my talk in Pakistan. He's like, I completely on board with you. I see your point. Let's work together. So how exciting is that? That's really exciting for me. It's a whole another level. And these things happen every time I face that fear inside of me. Not the fear of failure, not the fear of looking like an idiot on a stage in front of people, but the fear of actually succeeding, because what will happen then? How many more people will I be speaking to next? That's scary. So what am I saying? I'm saying to you, if you feel afraid, maybe you thought you were afraid of failure, but maybe it's actually that you're afraid of your success too. Maybe that's what's holding you back. Do I love you me on it? I promise you, because I know I can promise this, that when you do this training, whichever part of it you do, and hopefully you go all the way so you get the full benefit, and then we can go to the next level after that if you like. But when you do this training, I absolutely know for sure that you will change. Your life will change for the better in so many ways that you can't even imagine right now. Because once you transform the inside, the outside follows. Every single thing, when you go to the core and you transform the core, everything else that's attached to the core gets transformed too. And it's real life, it's real stuff, real stories of things that have happened to people as a result of doing this training. So I'm not here, blowing my own trumpet or trying to, make false claims or false promises. I don't do that. And people that have worked with me, they know that this is true. Like, I'm totally real, I'm totally genuine with you guys, okay? I'm not going to promise something I can't back up. So if you want something new, you want to be fully you want to fulfill your purpose, whatever that is, whoever you're going to be speaking to or writing books for, or, having groups with, whatever that is for you, I'm going to support you. You'll be part of the family. You'll be part of the team. We do it together and we bring more love on this earth together as part of the love mission. So if you want to go ahead and do that, and this feels right to you, please go fill in that application form. I cannot wait to hear from you. I'm going to be super excited. I'm going to be checking my computer, having a look, see if your name's there, see if you've done it, and then book that one-to-one call with me. At the end, there's a link at the bottom of the application form. You just book a call with me. I might actually just get off this real quick now and make some spaces available tomorrow before I go and meet this man in London, in case anybody wants to do it straight away. But otherwise, hopefully you've got some kind of inspiration from this presentation otherwise, or you've just got a happy feeling right now and you feel good, in which case, great, I'm happy. So sending you so much love. I genuinely love you and I cannot wait to see you and your name pops up on that application form. Mwah! So much love to you. Thanks for being here.